my shopping list. I do not feel right. What the hell? Hi guys, welcome back to another video. It has been a hot minute since I popped onto here. I'm not gonna lie, it has been quite a bit of time, but I'm full back in a swing of YouTubes and I've made a bit of a pact, and I even said to Denzel this. I'm gonna post a video every single week for a month. That consistency, so you guys have me if I do not, and I will. I'm gonna take you on a few days. It's gonna be an exciting few days, I have to admit. We've got someone coming to stay with us, a little furry friend. That sounds really weird. We've got my business mentor's golden retriever coming to stay with us. It's bank holiday weekend. We're about to do a food shop. It's gonna be a good one. I'm also gonna give you an update as well on some health things, and also what my diet completely looks different now because of it. So we're gonna go head to the shops and I'm gonna take you along with me. It's anyone else's favorite thing to just go and look at all the new plates. These ones are so nice. I'm sorry, but how cute are these? I love anything that has, and look how cute these are. Kenzel, I don't think I can have these, but
it's gonna be very underwhelming, but I'm here.
do you think? I think it will be subtle, won't it?
Going to freaking Philippines and getting cheese-covered potato chips.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not gonna be strong. Although the barbecue one is pretty good when I've had it previously.
Full cheese seasoning.
Yeah, it's got 2 milks and I can't have that. Damn it. I would actually try that. Like, I'm sorry, I can't have this. But look.
Look at this nice though.
I don't know,
it's
but
cool.
I actually used to love these so much. The chocolate chip ones used to be amazing.
Well creepy.
And we are back. We have got everything. I'm gonna literally just put it all out and just take you guys through it because there is so much good stuff and explain everything about anti-inflammatory. So I've literally laid everything out and I'm just going to go through it step by step. So if this isn't your jam, just skip through a little bit because we have got a lot of food here. But if you're interested in anti-inflammatory diet and exactly how I structure it, make sure just to essentially just write out a list. So I started out with a list and then I section it into like different sections for the food, for meals. So I come up with ingredients from the meals I'm going to make for the week. So I actually do that in my notes. And then from that, that's when I create my shopping list because it makes it 10 times easier because it can definitely feel overwhelming at the start and you just want to make it as simple as possible. So what I've done is broken it up into fruit and veg, which is like majority fiber. This is going to keep you full, help regulate your blood sugar levels. I've got protein, the lean protein sources. You basically want to just structure it around like good quality lean protein sources, and then like you have your extras like good slow releasing carbohydrates, and that is like pretty much your sort of focus. And then you'll have like some healthy fats to actually help with the sort of structure of your meals, and actually that helps massively. And that's one thing I've massively changed is the fats in my diet have helped 10 times. It can feel overwhelming like when you change your diet to this, but it really like just make it as simple as possible. Have a few like core meals that just work and it's just easy, and then just like build upon that. So like maybe you change some sauces, or you know when you have your poke bowl, instead of salmon maybe you go for like chicken, maybe instead of like sweet potato you go for white potato. Just make it as simple as that and it's 10 times easier, and I promise you just like slowly go into it and just take it step by step. Okay, so starting off with the fruit and veg, so I'm just going to start off with everything that we've got here, and you can see majority of our food is actually that vegetables, the fruit and veg. So you're thinking micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber, like that is going to be the best thing for anti-inflammatory. So starting off over here, we've got some kiwis, cucumber, fine beans, salad, some herbs. So I've got parsley and I've got coriander. I'm actually gonna go and get some dill shortly, but people don't actually know that herbs actually have so much like minerals and vitamins in them. So good. So such easy way to just add in a bit more. We've got some mushrooms, we've got some courgettes, peppers, broccoli, we've got some tomatoes, sweet potato, some more tomatoes. We've got a mix of munch 2 and sweet corn, broccoli again, oranges, frozen fruit. Honestly, if you don't, such a great way, so convenient, does not go off, so great. Spring onions, pak choy, fresh raspberries, apples, bananas, sweet potato, so releasing carbohydrate, really, really great. Roast it, boil it, mash it. And then we've got some ginger. Ginger's great, really high in anti-inflammatories. A little bit more veg there. So leading into like our fat sources, so I usually combine my fats, if I'm honest. I've got loads of peanut butter in the fridge, in the cupboard. I've got loads of peanut butter in the cupboard, but I'll have a lot of avocado, again, high in fiber, really, really high in antioxidants. Eggs, really, really great, bioavailable, so good. Dark chocolate, and then I'll go for salmon. Now, I didn't just purchase this was actually reduced, which is epic. But that's why I've got so much salmon this week. But typically what I'll do is I'll mix my protein sources up. So as you can see, I got smoked salmon here. And then I've got salmon fillets. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those because they were reduced right down. We've got chicken, we've got cooked chicken, we've got mincemeat, prawns, thighs, basa, and then soya yogurt for Denzel. I can't have that because I'm estrogen dominant, so I sort of stay clear of soya at the moment. Got tuna as a lean protein source. And then that's like our proteins done, and you can see it's like combines. And then I've also got some egg whites, really, really great for pancakes and things like that, lean protein source. And then we just got some extras. So these bits are Denzel's. I don't have them because I've got wheat in and a little bit of milk in some places. So that's Denzel's. But I go for coconut and almond milk, and then we got cocoa powder for my buckwheat porridge. We got some of these because I'm actually going to do some recipes this week, as well as some sauces just to spice things up, some capers for the salmon, and then we like to make Thai green curry. And if you haven't already, honestly, this salt is elite. Like, this salt is so elite. If you haven't already, give this a go because it is so good. And then obviously toilet roll. As you can see, there's a lot there. There is a lot there. But I'm going to show you over the course of the weekend, like the meals we kind of make with this. And I'm going to do some recipe testing. So if you haven't already, make sure to drop me a follow on Instagram because I'm going to be doing a whole anti-inflammatory series about meals and just how to make it simple with all of this food here. So yeah, I'm going to put this away and I'll catch you in a bit. We are about to pick up someone very special. Oh, there you go. Honestly. It'll be fine now. Literally, but it's like,
so weird though.
Look at him. Update, Beck has just left. We have little Barney down here. He's just chilling. I completely forgot how much hair golden retrievers literally shed. I actually had a golden retriever. Well, I do have a golden retriever. And I completely forgot when you have a dog how much they shed. Does anyone else just forget? Because our sofa is absolutely covered. I just nearly slipped in your dribble. I just nearly slipped in his dribble, Denzel. I'm sorry. Look at who are the best of friends. How cute. But not cute for the sofa. I'm just about to head to the gym, so I'm gonna make my intra-workout drink, and I literally just put 5 grams of glutamine in there and 5 grams of creatine, as well as a little bit of squash. I did used to do EAAs, but I've stopped that as of recent because I just ran out. I have also just had buckwheat porridge for pre-workout, as well as some gluten-free toast just to sort of tide me over. I'm training at such a weird time. I don't usually train at this time. It's like 3. So I'm gonna go do my leg day, get it sorted and get it finished. I think I'm gonna take you guys with me. I think I'm gonna take you with me. am about to get on my hamstring curl, but I just wanted to say something about hamstring curl, which will help you a ton, which helped me. If you ever don't feel your hamstrings, you feel your calves, what I actually want you to try is thinking about gently tucking your hips and keeping your core still, keeping your core tight, and not allowing your lower back to arch, even when you drag the weight back. So obviously I've got a seated hamstring curl, and what happens is, as the weight starts to get really heavy and towards the end, your lower back will like raise off this and arch. If that happens, you're not actually hitting your hamstrings, you're starting to hit other parts. Your body is basically trying to sort of compensate and find any muscle to lift up that weight. So something I found really helpful is taking a second at the top before you go back into the rep, tucking your hips, brace your core, and keep that position, and then think about dragging your heels down towards the ground to keep your lower back pressed into the pad. Honestly, game changer. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Just made dinner, which is burrito fajita bowls.
Yeah.
It literally, well, it takes no time, but we're supposed to have rice with this, but we've got potatoes. And it's just literally got...
We've got rice in there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's sludgy. What was the thing that you were telling me that Asians to measure the rice?
You just gave it away. I learned to measure the correct amount of water for when you're cooking rice. Ideally, if you have a rice cooker, sweet, you're good. But whether it's a rice cooker or a saucepan, the correct way to measure the right amount of water is by using this thing. I don't know if you're going to zoom in on this, but yeah, this. She can zoom in on this. This, the line of your first, your index finger, that first bit here, that on top of the rice, right? However much rice you have, that on top of the rice, that should be how much water you should have in either the rice cooker or the saucepan. Okay. And it's right every time.
Is it?
Apart from yesterday.
Is it?
Yeah, because I put too much. You know when you put, because I didn't have enough ended up putting too much water. You know when you put water and it kind of like makes a hole in the rice? That's what happened. So obviously it unevened the rice, and I just did it in a space which was incorrect. But I ended up making a rice porridge instead of actual rice. I feel ashamed. We're doing this instead. Potatoes.
British.
British.
British. It's a bit burnt, isn't it? But it's actually so banging.
No, this one's better.
Good boy. Good boy. Should we go? Bless him, he hates the lift and he gets really anxious. It's okay. It's okay. That's it, it's okay. It's okay.
Floor 0.
It's okay, we're here. We're here. It's okay, good boy.
Last night you were looking so bright, I don't wanna mess up, you were ready dressed up.
We are back on the camera, right? So first of all, I get my buckwheat flakes to make my buckwheat porridge from Holland & Barrett because it is the cheapest place that you can get it, and they're the best ones that I've seen. So you can get it on Amazon, but it's like a lot more expensive. And actually what I typically do is a blend of buckwheat and millet. I know it sounds so weird, like if you have ever known me, watched anything on my Instagram or my YouTube, I love, genuinely, my death row meal I think would be a bowl of oats and a side of pumpkin. That's how like weird I am, but that's how much I love oats. So the fact I had to give up oats was probably the most heartbreaking thing I've ever had to do, and I'm not even joking you, this is the longest time I've ever been without oats. And I thought I was going to break at multiple times, but I have found an alternative. It is not exactly like oats, do not go expecting it's exactly like oats, but it is literally the next best thing. What I do is I do a mixture of buckwheat and millet, like I said. Millet it has got quite like a certain taste to it, so I do less of this. I usually do around 20 grams of millet. If you're wondering what millet looks like, by the way, it looks like that. Then I go ahead and do 40 grams, so more buckwheat. So buckwheat actually has less carbs than millet. Millet has a little bit more carbohydrates in it, but both are really high in protein and yeah, really good. And if you're wondering like why I don't have oats right now, because of my Hashimoto's, the protein in oats, which is aniline, basically looks like gluten and dairy when you consume it. So the thyroid thinks it's like something it needs to attack to protect your thyroid. Hence why I can't have oats, which is heartbreaking, but also I'm dairy and gluten free. So yeah, stereotypical and all that, but we are finding alternatives. Then what we want to be thinking about as well is making this as tasty as possible. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put cocoa powder in. I always make these chocolate, like I've never done these not chocolate, because the cocoa powder just adds like a deep richness. Then what I'm going to go do is decaf coffee, instant granules. I literally just put like probably a teaspoon, I don't measure this. Then I put a little bit of molten salt. I feel like it makes it cakey when we do that. And if you haven't tried molten salt, like honestly, Denzel, how good is molten salt?
Exquisite.
Exactly. It is so good. So let's just do a pinch of that. Now, if you are dairy free like me, I've gone through very multiple vegan proteins, and I was vegan for like 8 years. I think, yeah, no more than that. God, I was vegan for like 10 years. So yeah, I did go back to whey obviously when I started having dairy again for a bit, and then obviously found out all of these health stuff, so then dairy came out again. So had to find a good vegan alternative, and I can't have soy, so again, that was fun. But if you have not tried the Perform protein, genuinely, it is so good. How good does it smell? I've got chocolate orange and chocolate mint. They don't, like, of course vegan protein is thicker than whey, like it's because of, you know, the texture, but it's not grainy. It actually tastes nice. It doesn't have like a weird aftertaste. You know, when you have vegan protein and it like stays in your tongue and it tastes weird, these like actually taste really nice. They mix really, really well. It's just like thicker in the sense like when you put it into this, it makes it cakey, which is exactly what you want. But yeah, this is the chocolate orange flavor, and then you've got the chocolate mint. I like both. I think I prefer the chocolate orange just slightly, but when you smell it, it kind of tastes like Terry's chocolate orange. This genuinely tastes like what is it, chocolate mint after eight. When you heat it up, it sort of dials it down a little bit, but genuinely, yeah, genuinely tastes like after eight. So I go ahead and put about 30 grams in here, and I give it a good mixy and coated. For anyone that's interested as well, I'm actually going to show you the macros. So this is a macro breakdown of the Perform vegan protein. So it's actually not too bad. It's a little bit higher in fat than like whey usually is. That's ingredients list, so it's pea and rice protein. Then this is a bit crumpled, but this is the buckwheat breakdown of the macros. So again, you can see like the protein is super high, so similar like sort of structure of oats, I would say. It's a millet, so you can see millet is at 71, so it's like a little bit higher in carbs. Now this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because I add water. You can add almond milk, I just add water because it doesn't change the taste too much. But I don't ever measure this. I'm actually going to measure it today. Right, it's out of the microwave and it looks a little bit like this. So you can see it's like semi-set. You can see like that like cake sort of texture. That is what we want. That is what we want, a thick buckwheat oat kind of vibe going on. And just like that, we are finished. You're watching you without me. What the hell? Right, well that's just like completely just plot twist. Okay, this is the goods. So cherries, always frozen fruit, always, like literally the best. Frozen cherries, frozen raspberries, frozen blueberries. I'm just going to stop saying frozen. I've got some 85% dark chocolate, which I'm about to show you the amount in a second. And then we've got some peanut butter on top, and this looks so good, and it's my favorite every single morning. This is Denzel's breakfast I made for him. We've got some wholemeal toast with 2 eggs, some brown sauce and tomatoes. And then the sweet plate, which Denzel, you love this whey paste, don't you?
Bloody delicious.
It is actually really good. And it's just cocoa powder with whey and then some oranges on top for his breakfast. Because you prefer savoury though. Hold on. Here you go. 2 plates.
Thank you.
If anyone has any suggestions for any like good gluten-free bread, please let me know. I've heard the M&S gluten-free bread is supposed to be really good. I've tried the M&S sourdough cob, which was actually fairly decent, I have to admit. But I just want like a really good one to have occasionally. I don't have it all the time just because the ingredients can be a little bit like full on, and especially with the anti-inflammatory, I try to sort of have it as, you know, little as often, but still enjoying it. But I just want a really good, like, I miss a really good sourdough, you know, like the freshly baked ones from the bakery. Like, oh my god, I miss that so much, so much. So if anyone has any suggestions, please let me know. I am in the midst of filming, so I've actually made it, I'm actually gonna pop you down. I've made it my goal, right? I've kind of changed my business model a little bit, I have to admit. So like, I was predominantly doing one-to-one coaching and my business has like skyrocketed, which I am forever grateful, and I'm so happy with the girls that are in my container. I'm coaching gym girls who freaking love to train, who are just bossing it, who show up like my type of girls, right? Like, I've established my business there, like freaking awesome. And if I'm honest, I have definitely done like a sort of pivot. So I was predominantly like pushing one-to-one, and that was like my business like structure, right? But I realized like a big aspect of how I coach and even what I love in my business is sharing things like this, like YouTube, like sharing my life, sharing my experiences. And especially when I got my diagnosis, it sort of just pivot things for me and like the sort of structure that I want with business. And I don't think this is talked about enough. Like, I know there's not one way to do a business, and my true passion, honestly, is coaching people and coaching gym girls in particular to just become strong, freaking unstoppable, etc. And that's literally why like my girls stay with me for freaking years, and that's why I love my business model. But I also want to pivot and expand the business in different ways, like making my recipes, making healthy recipes. And especially something I've realized is since going gluten-free, dairy-free, a lot of things free, it can be quite hard, and especially when you're macro tracking. And I found like a real gap of like, I want to enjoy food again, like I want to love it. I love cooking, and I guarantee like so many of you watching this love it as well. But I'm just like, I want something exciting to eat. I don't want to eat boring things, and I want to make like meal prepping or like just food and just freaking excitable again for me. So I've dedicated myself to literally making recipes because it's literally something I love. So I'm going to be doing a series on Instagram and actually holding myself accountable to do like recipes, a certain amount of recipes each week, hence the big food shop yesterday. So like, if there's anything particularly you guys want to actually see, please let me know, because I'm like clustering up ideas. I'm thinking like banana bread, I'm thinking bowls, like easy macro bowls, I'm thinking like gluten-free pancakes, thinking like your Sunday morning like microwave protein cakes, I'm thinking like flapjacks but dairy, gluten-free, you know, oat-free, everything for the girlies that have like PCOS, autoimmune, all that jazz, or if you have an intolerance. Like, I'm thinking let's freaking do it for the gym girls who have all this, because I know there's so many of you who are like, damn, I want to eat well, I want to eat good, but it needs to be a certain way. So that is essentially my goal, to cluster up recipes again. And if you didn't know, that's actually how I started my business. Like, funny enough, I started my business, which I don't actually hardly speak about, I started my business making recipes, making vegan recipes, which is kind of done like a 360, but alas. And I just want to start that again. Like, I want to start making recipes again and actually like, yeah, just sharing them, because that was honestly my passion. That's how I started my page, and I started my page with Lily's Whole Foods. So I'm going back to my roots, guys. I'm going back to roots. And if you didn't know, I actually started my business, which was a food business, and it was like, yeah, vegan bakes, vegan cakes, etc. And I'm gonna pop some videos or like photos on the side here, but it was like honestly my passion. It makes me so happy. So this is me holding me accountable for you guys that I actually am going to do this, okay? This is like the next part. I'm going to do this because this is my passion and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to take you along with me. I'm going to take you along with me for the accountability, but also because I love sharing it. So I'm going to get stuck into recipes. That is like my goal now. I'm going to get stuck into recipes. I've made a makeshift overhanging, and if you aren't following me on Instagram, I would massively appreciate if you guys drop me a little follow. And I know I've sort of talked about obviously this dairy-free, gluten-free, all that saga, but I haven't really shared much. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, probably tomorrow, and just give you a little bit of a breakdown of everything, because my life has like literally done a whirlwind of a change since I got my diagnosis. So yeah, I'm going to share that with you because it is scary, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be more authentic, and this is me holding myself accountable. I really want to be more authentic online. I really want to show myself. Feel like I need to like hide something back, and you know what? I've always been a little bit of an oversharer, and that's okay. Like, that is my personality, that is okay, and there's nothing bad about that. And you know what? Like, I know I'm an amazing coach. I know all my clients are happy. I know that I've got so much potential, that I actually love baking and it makes people happy and they use my recipes and like enjoy it so much. So I want to get back to that, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes in the next few months, and if you guys want to come along for the ride, like, yeah, let's do it, because yeah, things are going to be crazy. Like, I'm not going to be lying, it's going to be absolutely crazy, but I'm excited. Taste test time. This without coconut milk, so it's still got healthy fats from coconut oil that I use and the paste, but makes it a little bit more macro friendly. That tastes actually unreal. Do you want to try some, Pencil? Nice, right? I'm sorry, I'm actually so excited about this. This is my buckwheat banana loaf, and it looks absolutely unreal. I'm sorry, but how good. Yeah, that is, I think I might be onto a winner. I'm really hoping this tastes really good, because this smells insane. We're just on a walk by the river, and there's little ducklings. No, geeslings, aren't they? Are they called geeslings? Oh gosh. Little geeslings, but I don't know how he's going to react. Well, they're making noises. I don't think they like it. God, there's actually so many. Kids that grow up with dogs have better immune systems than people that don't. Bank holiday, everyone. I cannot believe it's bank holiday again. I don't know why there are so many bank holidays in April and May, and it all just clusters together. I was actually speaking to someone about this the other day. I don't know where this year had gone, but we are up. We are getting, well, it's actually check-in day for me, so it's not so much bank holiday. So I'm gonna go straight into client work very shortly, but I'm actually giving myself a little bit of like an easy Monday. I've literally got the same breakfast as I had yesterday, and I do have every day my buckwheat porridge. It is so freaking good. Like, honestly, I cannot tell you, I wake up excited to eat this. I'm gonna just like chill, eat this for like a little bit. I've already taken Barney out for a walk. Gotta get stuck into check-ins very shortly, because that's gonna take up majority of my day. But I'm actually rewatching some of Elle Darby's vlogs, and that's like one of my recent favorite things that I've been doing. These vlogs like ages ago. This is basically top diets with my bodybuilder boyfriend for 24 hours when she literally used to do these type of like challenges. And I honestly just love her videos. I love her videos so much. But anyone else, just rewatch some of their old favourite YouTubers vlogs, because that's my favourite thing to do, like genuinely. Like more than Netflix, more than anything, is just watch old people's vlogs. Old YouTubers vlogs. Here now, gonna come up. We put these blankets as makeshift covers because if you have a golden retriever, honestly they shed like so much, bless him. So we put these down as like a little bit of a cover blanket, otherwise he just covers the sofas. Just slicing up my buckwheat loaf, and weirdly enough, like me and Liz were literally saying that it actually feels more moist today, which is really, really odd. Definitely needs like improvements, you know, when it's like good, but you know when you're like, it can be better. I'm gonna have this with an Earl Grey cup of tea. I've literally just got started with my check-ins. I've just air fried it, and I want to see if it makes a difference because Denzel said he tried air frying it. It needs a bit longer. Oh, but it melts the chocolate. It needs a little bit longer, but it melts the chocolate and it makes it like, yeah, definitely with that, a little bit more peanut butter on top, almond butter, chef's kiss, like so good, so good. How can we add from where we are, okay? Increase our food to be able to be in that surplus that we want to be in, but a bit more micronutrients. You know, take a step back sometimes, because if I listen to my intuition all the time when it comes to food, guess what? I probably either overeat or undereat, right? Nutrition literacy. I thought I'd just go through a little bit like how I check in, by the way. So right now I'm about to do a client's check-in, and how I work is I've got their forms here, right? So everyone submits a form like in depth, and I'll basically go down this list with that form. So just going to give you an idea of like one of my clients, right? And they'll submit this whole form every single week, right? In depth, like ranking how they're feeling, how they hit all their training sessions, where they are in their cycle and everything. Then I've got basically a spreadsheet of everything down to the month. So their macro split, what phase they're in, like are they in a build, is it hypertrophy, fat loss, body composition, any notes to take on each week. So if I do like a macro split, like a high and low day, are they having any like cycle pain, and then average weigh-ins each week. And then what I'll do off the back of that is obviously go into check all their data, like their weight, and I'll take their weekly average weight and I'll actually pop that into here like I just mentioned. And then like I'll review photos and actually see like, you know, the definition in their body, is their quads coming up, how's information around the midsection, look at body measurements, nutrition, like the graph. Obviously this client's on a high and low days, so she's on training days and rest day calories, and I can see that they've ticked off everything, as well as like individual training sessions. So for instance, like my client's just on bench 2 hours ago, so I can actually see the weight she's logged, and that would be something that I go over in her check-in as well, just to make sure that we're trending in the right direction. And that's pretty much everything that I do actually in check-in itself. So I mean, it's like, it's really in depth, and that's why it's that she takes me the whole day to check in my one-to-one clients on Monday, and it is the busiest day. Like honestly, it is so swamped all the time. I love it. I love it, absolutely love it. It takes over Mondays. So bank holiday Monday doesn't really exist in my world. But I love just seeing all the wins from my clients, and it just gets me gassed for my own development. So I'm gonna literally finish off because I've got like 5 more check-ins, and then we're gonna take Barney out for a walk because I desperately need to move. You know, when you've been sat down for so long, I'm literally like itching to just move and get up and get outside for some fresh air and out of this seat. I've made the most rogue lunch mid check-in because I have no clue what to make, and these days are just the most hectic. All right, we are back home. Barney's had his walk, haven't you? And he's absolutely knackered. He's just had a big old feed. And I'm in a chatty mood, so I'm gonna pop onto here and just chat. I'm gonna chat. And like I was saying before in this earlier part of the vlog, I'm really, really wanting to become more authentically me and just be open. And this is kind of me being like a little bit vulnerable, but also, you know, I want to be me. I want to be so open. I want to be totally honest with you guys. And that's really why I shared my Instagram reel. And if you haven't seen it already, if you want to, it's totally up to you, but go pop over to my Instagram and actually check it out. But essentially for the past, as long as I can remember, I've been struggling with this, and it's something that I've semi-talked about but also haven't, for multiple reasons. But just sort of in short, I basically was diagnosed start of this year with PCOS, Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, as well as a lot of other issues health-wise that have been going on alongside insulin resistance, hence why I've got my glucose monitor on, which you probably have seen me wear, and sort of monitoring how my body adjusts to carbohydrates and insulin, essentially. To say the least, it has been an emotional ride. It's been a lot to take on, it's been a lot to just absorb, and if I'm honest, I'm still getting used to it and still trying to fathom my head around it. And for the longest time, I've struggled with my health in some shape or form, and I say that very lightly because I don't want to say like I've always struggled and like think in that mindset, because I've tried to shift that mindset, but it really has felt like a big struggle, and I've always felt like I've had to push myself harder, even though I coach obviously gym girls who've been training for years to pull back and not train like that. But I've always found myself falling into like the trap of doing the opposite of what I actually coach. And I see amazing results with my clients and telling them to pull back, and I know how to program and the strategies I use, but I was just finding I was doing all those things, and I was finding that I was even just pushing myself to the max, my body to the limit, and it just was not responding at all. It was not responding the way we needed it to in any sense. I basically obviously started seeing these signs. I want to say like, well, obviously I had an eating disorder when I was in my teen years up until my 20s and mid-20s. I had anorexia, and basically I essentially lost a lot of weight when I was about 13, and that made me lose my cycle. And I first got my cycle when I was 11, and then I lost it when I lost a lot of weight and I was under eating, restricting. And then up until I was about 17, I had like a handful of them, like on and off, but I pretty much lost it completely. Had no cycle, no period for like years and years. And then obviously I relapsed multiple times and didn't have a cycle all through that time period. And then I got to the age of 22 and my hair was falling out. I was so lean. I was doing like 25 to 30,000 steps a day. I was training 6 to 7 times a week, sometimes twice a day. I was going to the gym. I was eating ridiculously low food. I was like hoarding food. It was horrendous. And I just was like, right, something seriously needs to change. I am so cold all the time. My hair's falling out. I'm constantly thinking about food. And it just clicked to me, and I started my HA, hypothalamic amenorrhea. It's such a mouthful. Which is basically just a loss of menses of 3 consecutive cycles. So basically if you've lost your period for 3 cycles in a row, that's HA. Now, I went to the doctors obviously, and I was like, look, I haven't got my cycle. And I was told so many times, even back then, that is normal, that is fine. Just give it a bit of time, gain some weight, that's your job, right? That was literally all the advice I got. So I went and externally got help from a coach to get my cycle back. It took 3 years, so that in itself, to get my cycle back, 3 years of feeling so uncomfortable, if I'm honest. It was probably the hardest time literally of my life where I had to actively gain weight. And weirdly enough, my body actually took a long time to gain that weight, which was really odd. Like I kept increasing food and it just kept taking on the food. Like it just kept taking on the food. And I actually lost 3 kilos in the sort of process of gaining, supposed to gain weight as my food went up. I actually lost weight, and that was because of a lot of inflammation, and my body was just utilizing it, like burning that fuel as soon as it came on board, just because it was so depleted. Anyway, 3 years into it, I finally gained my cycle back. And then it took an extra like near on year to get 3 consecutive cycles, and that's what you need to recover from HA. Now obviously since regaining my cycle, I felt great. All these symptoms that I'm having are just gonna get easier and whatever. Now obviously when it came to losing the weight gain that I had post HA recovery, wow, that was so difficult. Like when I say, I've actually never spoken about this. Why am I getting teary? I think I'm gonna it's one of those things, I have never felt so uncomfortable myself, and I feel incredibly guilty, but also kind of like a relief opening up about this to hopefully help someone. That when I was my heaviest, nearly 70 kilos, I needed that to obviously regain my cycle, but I cannot tell you how much it impacted my mental health. I really worked on my mindset, and that was something I really detached myself from like my body. But I was wearing sizes I've never like worn before. I was so inflamed. My stomach was like squeezed over things, even loose things. I felt like I was inflamed. I take off socks, my feet were puffy. My neck was so inflamed. I was wearing baggy clothes all the time. I was just literally wearing this like 24/7. I wouldn't let Denzel touch me. I would avoid mirrors. I'd walk backwards in the lift. I would wear a hoodie in the peak of summer. Like, it was such a difficult time for me, and I felt such lows in how I felt and how I showed up. And I felt such a shame in myself that I was literally trying everything to lose that weight, and I really struggled. And guess what? I've been doing this for years, and I know how to lose body fat. I know how to be in a deficit. I know the strategies that need to come in place for people that have been training for years. And when it comes to me, I had no freaking clue what was going on. The harder I pushed, the more my body actually fought back at me. And at a point, I was literally eating 1,300 calories, doing cardio 5 times a week, and doing 15,000 steps, and my weight was trending up. And no, I was not incorrectly tracking. No, I was not missing anything. I literally, to a T, was doing everything. My body was so inflamed. I was like so hysterical. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And I feel really ashamed for saying that, because I would never literally put my client through that. And I think it's because I put such a hardship on myself. I literally pushed myself to such limits. And this is where, basically in December, God, I didn't realise this was going to be so emotional. Something that's not spoken about a lot is grief. And last December, my whole world literally changed. I was obviously pushing myself to my limits, and obviously I knew something wasn't right, but I was constantly going to the doctors and being told nothing is wrong with you. Your blood's absolutely fine. Nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. Come about a week before Christmas, got a phone call from my mum, and my granddad's been very poorly for a very long time, bless him. But he just rapidly declined. And I got a call from her saying, like, we don't know how long he's got left, basically. And that's when we went down to London as soon as possible. Literally, I dropped everything and went straight down to London. And we went with my grandma, and they've been together for 64 years, and it was so lovely to see them together. He was, you know, almost like a sleep state. Anyway, after a while she went, because she was getting back pain, and me and Denzel stayed, and something in me just told me to stay. Something in me just told me to stay, and I just sat there holding his hand, and it was a really weird, surreal experience. And I'm sharing this for the first time ever to hopefully help someone who's been through grief. It's totally independent of the person. Really not trying to get emotional here. But something just deep down told me just not to leave him, because I didn't want him to be alone. So I just kept holding his hand, and as the hours went on, his breathing just started to slow down and become very delayed. And then at about 4:30, he just took this big deep breath, and that was it. I think grief is so independent. And the only reason I'm sharing this, obviously I was relate to my story in a second, but it has been such an impact on me. And I know for so many people, everyone will go through grief, and it is not spoken about enough. And there's no right or wrong way to deal with it. There's no right or wrong way emotions. Some people deal with it by hiding. Some people deal with it by having to be out all the time. Some people deal with it by just getting on straight away. There's literally no right or wrong. So if you are grieving, my heart is completely sent out to you, because yeah, it's not easy at all, and I'm still coming to grips with it, and it's been 5 months. I think from that moment, so much hit me. I really realised I was moving so fast in my life and constantly pushing myself, and realising that this is essentially it, right? I'm constantly pushing myself to the max, and my health isn't the main priority. That come literally when it happened in January, I was like, this is enough. Like, I need to get answers. Something's wrong with me and I don't know what the hell's going on. So I literally spent hours, oh god, I literally spent hours and hours getting more tests from the NHS, still being told the same thing. Literally doctors kept telling me there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, we can't do anything else. And I was just like, in myself, I was like, there is something wrong. I do not feel right. I was literally collapsing on the floor, like falling asleep. I was so low. It was not normal. My hair was falling out in clumps. I ridiculously couldn't lose weight. I struggled to gain muscle tissue, and I felt such guilt as a coach that I looked the way that I did. And this is the first time that I've been open about that. I was getting gym goals, absolutely amazing transformations, and I did not feel great in myself at all. I pushed my training constantly, I never missed a day, and my physique did not reflect that, and I knew that something was not right. I did more digging. I spoke to people that I saw that had similar like things that were going on, and I was told basically like, have you had your antibodies tested? And I was like, no, like I don't think so, they've literally just tested my hormone profile. Anyway, I went private and I spent quite a bit of money, and hey presto, came back and my antibodies were through the roof. Like, my antibodies were so skyrocket past the point, and showed that I had Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, which is basically where your thyroid starts to attack itself, which causes issues with obviously weight loss, brain fog, building muscle tissue, issues like that. I have really high estrogen, which causes other issues, very low progesterone, like very low progesterone, which obviously has issues with building muscle tissue. I have a lot of inflammation, which they think in my adrenals and part of my brain, which is obviously linked with everything and causing a lot of inflammation. Hence why I had a lot of inflammation. I just felt puffy all the time. So since then I have taken out dairy and gluten. I've obviously had my PCOS as well, which has been diagnosed with that as well. So it has been a whirlwind, to say the least. I'm still very much on this path, and I've had to take out oats, gluten and dairy. Oats, a lot of people don't realise that when you have Hashimoto's or autoimmune, basically the molecules of oats, the protein in it, ananin, basically looks very similar to gluten and dairy, and your thyroid basically starts to attack those molecules when you like consume them, because it sees it as something like a threat. Hence why it causes more issues to your antibodies and overall thyroid. So I've cut that out. There's a lot of other things that we are doing to change it. So my diet's changed even further. Even with training, I'm training to not to failure, which is the first time ever in my life I've been doing that. And then my supplements that you guys have seen, I take every single day to help with inflammation, help with obviously my markers that need to improve. So yeah, I mean, this is a very long part. If you are still listening to this, thank you, I really appreciate it. But yeah, I will do a more in-depth video about it and the changes I've made, but just as like a cluster, if anyone's like struggling with it, it does get better. It can feel very overwhelming, but I promise you it is small lifestyle changes that you take over time, and it can get massively better. And I always say that if your health is not in a position, literally nothing else matters. Like, genuinely nothing else matters. You have no problems until you have a health problem, and that is the only problem after that. Like, your health is the number one priority, and that's why I literally always say it, and always say it to my clients and the people I speak to. And that's really the position that I've wanted to pivot in with my business. Like, I was very much just one-to-one coaching and business, and that's it, nothing about me. Where now I really want to take my page as a personal page and start talking about my story again to help others, and talk about life situations, mindset, all of that, and obviously still do my gym goals, because that's my passion and that's my part of my business, but that will be with one coaching, and really start to share authentically me without judgment. And this is the first time that I've actually been open about this, which is really daunting, I have to admit. But hopefully just someone watching this like if you feel like something is wrong, if you feel like your body, you feel like deep down you have that feeling, that gut feeling, please, 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 even if things are coming back normal, please just go get answers. Yeah, and my DMs are always open on Instagram, so yeah, please, if you have any questions, please, please, please shoot them over. And yeah, know there is always something. Guys, I swear I do move from this position. It's just Mondays like they get me every single time. But I've just finished all my client work and now I'm relaxing for dinner, and we have the most weirdest bowl going to mad. Fried potatoes, lettuce, chicken, broccoli, and like homemade fajita mix. I don't really know what this is like called or what it's gonna taste like, but I kind of, we just don't care. Like I do, but like also, I'm gonna watch some YouTube, and that is actually gonna be me for today. I know this is gonna be like a long one, and this is like my first proper vlog back, guys, so please bear with me. And if you've lasted this long, I absolutely love you. And please like and subscribe, because I genuinely am trying to get back on my YouTube grind, and I love making videos for you guys. So if you enjoyed this, please drop me a follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!